Oh my god, come on. Let's go. Come on, Moze. Go, Iron Bear, move. Let's go. Yes. Come on, die, bud. Let's go. I think that's it. Is that it? He's not dead yet. What the fuck? Please tell me he's dead. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Finally! After all the times I jumped, I fell off that map? Hell yeah! Finally, man, I could take a break. Woo! And we got a Globetrotter. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scare Soldier back with another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you my Moze build that I did to solo the Guardian Takedown. Now keep in mind, guys, I did not do the Guardian Takedown in true takedown mode. I'm not crazy enough to go ahead and do that. That's just insane. This was a scale takedown to one player. So I'm going to be showing you guys all my gear, and I'm also going to be talking about some tips and tricks during the gameplay. So sit tight, guys, and pay attention closely. So first, for the guns, we have the Monarch. Now we have two variations of this, one in shock and one in corrosive. So a lot of the Guardians have armor and shield bars, and the Monarchs are going to be great to dealing with some of the flying enemies who are a little bit harder to hit. And also some of them when you're defending inside the crystal. This is going to be good because you don't want to use rocket launchers to close target enemies. If you do use a rocket launcher and you shoot an enemy who comes at you really close, you're going to kill yourself every time. So you need a gun that can deal close range, and this is a perfect weapon for that. And we have the consecutive hit anointment, which is the best anointment to have on this weapon currently. So go ahead and try to get yourself some of these guns, please, guys. Now, when it comes to the two main rocket launchers we like to use, we were using the Backburner, no surprise, and also the Plague Bearer. These are some common weapons you guys are seeing with other YouTubers using, but these are the best rocket launchers really anyways for the takedown. And what you see with the Plague Bearer is that this is also a very good mobbing tool, and the most important thing is the anointment. Now the anointment action skill and splash damage literally is so strong, guys. It can almost one-shot all the little enemies in the game. Normally you can sit there forever and deal a lot of damage to some of these Guardians, but when you actually activate the action skill and with that splash, it absolutely wipes out everybody, which is super awesome. And this is going to be very important for when you're trying to charge up the crystals, and also because the Plague Bearer has some sort of singularity or can pull enemies away. It's also very helpful to space the enemies from you. Now, when it comes to the boss, we're using the Backburner. Now, I don't have a corrosive Backburner. It was splash damage 200. So for when it came to the boss on his shield phases, I was using the radiation Backburner. And for his main armor, I was using a cryo version right over here with 200 splash. This is, like I said, insane, the damage difference. Now, when it comes to our main weapon that we pretty much use for the majority of the mobs, so when we were defending the crystals, when we were just going through herds of mobs as well, this was the main weapon. Now if you guys missed the stream, you guys saw how insane the amount of damage I was doing with this gun. You guys noticed it was nuts. Okay, why? Because you need the anointment, action skill, and the next two mags with an element on it. Adding another element to the recursion alongside an ASC on your shield and grenade is going to make this gun absolutely obliterate everything on the map, which is why I have one of these. ×2 is very important as well, and this is going to really hurt enemies and make your life a lot easier, especially with Moze, with the splash thing and the minesweeper. You're going to be doing a lot of damage. Those who joined the stream again know what I'm talking about. When it comes to the shield, though, we got the Old God, and we had two sets of Old Gods. We had a radiation one, and we also had incendiary. Now, a lot of the enemies in the beginning, those little creatures, they're all they have normal health bars. So we wanted to do extra incendiary damage. So that's what we have with here with the ASC and bonus incendiary damage. And when we went to the Guardians, obviously the Guardians have a different health bar, blue. So we had radiation. If you guys can have an Old God with shock, that would be even better. But radiation also does the trick. Now, when it comes to the grenades, we are flipping between the cloning maddening tracker, and also we are also using grenades that have ASC on it. So depending on the enemy's weakness to whatever element, we will also pick that grenade. Now keep in mind, you guys are going to have to mix and match your ASC elements. If you put two radiations, it won't stack. All right, guys, so put radiation and cryo here, or however you guys like to do it. Now for class mods, this is very important, guys. So what you can do, first of all, for a lot of damage, the minesweeper is going to be great. All right, so in general, for just killing the enemies in the beginning, and also before the before the first fight after the checkpoint. The Minesweeper is going to be insane for doing damage, and you're going to want to have this, especially with a lot of your weapons. But you can also, a really good thing too, is when you're doing the crystals, what you want to do is utilize Iron Bear. So we're going to show you the skill tree in a second, but Iron Bear is going to be extremely important towards Moze's survivability. Now, Iron Bear distracts enemies and is very tanky in Mayhem 10 and can take a lot of damage. And because he distracts the enemies, it activates really good things for Moze. Since all the enemies are just going towards Iron Bear, essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to have a crowd of enemies around him, and then you pull out your recursion and blow them all up, and they're close together, and all those ricochets are going to really do a lot of damage. And also, it's going to take away a lot of aggro from when you're trying to charge up a crystal. So keep in mind, having just a Minesweeper is not going to be good enough. You might struggle. So my suggestion is having Rocketeer. This is going to be fantastic as well for taking aggro off of the crystal. So what you want to do, essentially, I'm going to show you guys in a second, is you're going to have to plant Iron Bear outside of the crystal, exit Iron Bear. Now you have your action skill end. Once you have your action skill end, you go back into the crystal and you do all your damage, and Iron Bear is going to last a long time, and you're going to be really, really good. You only have to deal with a couple enemies inside the crystal, and you're going to be using the Monarch for those enemies. All right, guys. Now, when it comes to the skill tree, actually, before the skill tree, we have the artifact. So the artifact mainly I was using is the Atom Bomb Victory Rush. This is very important because I'm using a lot of radiation with my weapons specifically. So this is going to give me extra damage, aurora damage, burst damage, etc. And it's also Victory Rush, so I can move a little faster with Moze, which is really important because she's quite slow, and to get away from certain enemies who are coming to attack me, I need to move a little bit faster. And of course, the rolls are kind of very, very good. Actually, we have Area of Effect, which is massive damage extra, and also that mag size and extra radiation damage is huge. So again, try to get yourselves a good artifact, guys. At least Victory Rush or Auto Idol. And then of course the other one I like to carry is actually a Snowdrift, and I'll tell you why. So you can actually, with the Speed Demon, which I'm going to show you guys the modifiers in a second, the Speed Demon is going to help you guys skip sometimes. Like for one of the phases, once you guys finish the first 3 crystals, you're going to be going inside an area where you're going to have to do your first platforming, and you can actually stack up enough Speed Demon, slide jump into the hole, and actually skip that whole part, which is going to be huge because sitting there killing enemies on top of enemies is going to be frustrating. So using a Snowdrift, stacking up Speed Demon, you can do a couple skips. So that's why I like the Snowdrift at times. Now, when it comes to the actual skill tree, here we go, guys. So we have the same Unholy Moze skill tree. Nothing has changed, but this is what we use just to show you guys. One suggestion, though, if you would like, you can probably take off 1 point out of either this tree over here. You can take off 1 point, and then you can put that into the security bear, and what that's going to do is make a bubble around Iron Bear, and that can act kind of like a Zane barrier for you, so you might take a little less damage as well. And this is going to make Iron Bear even more tanky, because Iron Bear, I'm telling you guys, is very important for this takedown. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is take out 1 point from here, and then probably put it right over here, and this is going to make a big difference with your Rocketeer for the crystal section. Okay, now when it comes to the modifiers we were using, we had Speed Demon. That was to help us get some skips. We only got about 2 skips actually, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, because there's just too many ads, guys. I mean, I do not blame you guys if you guys decide to skip, but this at least gives you an option. And even if you don't skip, it's important to move fast because Moze is quite slow, and some of these enemies are very agile and fast, and they will attack you. And also, if you don't dodge them, you can get kicked off the map a lot. Ask my stream team. Yeah, they saw me. They saw me get kicked off the map quite a bit. Anyways, moving on to the next modifiers. You want modifiers that are neutral, but I will suggest this for your life, okay, is the laser flare. Now the laser flare was something that actually really helped me, because those things would get me back up if I ever went down. I would look for one of those little laser flares on the ground, I would shoot them, and I would get back up. Those things would be really good as a second wind guaranteer. So look for the laser flare with Speed Demon at least. Now we also have the buddy system, and the buddy system is going to be great for us since we are using a recursion. And the recursion is going to bounce off of all these buddy systems and do even more damage for you. So more ricochets, more damage. So buddy system is a very good option as a very hard modifier. All right, guys. So of course, we're going to look at some gameplay. I'm going to tell you a couple more tricks and stuff that I had. I'm going to show you the boss fight, guys, because literally if you guys wanted to see the whole takedown, it would be like such a long video. I want to save your time. So we're going to go to the boss, and I'm going to show you everything over there. So I'll see you there. Alright guys, so the first thing that I want to bring up about the Guardian Takedown is how important Iron Bear is. Iron Bear acts as a way to distract the enemies during the crystals. He is very important also for survivability. Now, during the final boss, or any boss for that matters, immunity phase. So when Scourge the Invincible goes into his immunity phase and then he exits out of it, he creates a huge explosion. What you can do is you can actually survive this explosion by just simply being an Iron Bear. So what I like to do is that I go into Iron Bear when I know he's about to call his thing. Now, Moze is very slow, so getting away from the enemies, because there starts to become many ads around before he goes into his immunity. They start to chase you around, and she's kind of slow to get away from them, and it can kind of screw you because you cannot sit comfortably behind a pillar all the time. So being an Iron Bear is extremely huge, because what will happen is he will create that huge explosion, and then it will just kill off your Iron Bear, which is perfect because right when he comes out of that immunity, you can start doing that 200% ASE bonus damage. So that's extremely helpful for those who wanted to know, because I find that sometimes if you get caught up with a slow player like Moze and you can't hide behind a pillar and it just wipes you down, sometimes it can be hard to get back up. Now that brings me to my next point about getting back up, because you will go down a couple times. It's just normal. This takedown is scaled way too high at the moment, but why I like the laser flares are because they spawn quite often. You guys kind of see they're a little bit everywhere on the map. And what will happen is if I do go down, that is one of the first things I am looking for, is one of those, because they're extremely easy to kill and I can get back up very fast. Now, when it comes to the weapons, again, it's no surprise there for this takedown specifically, there's honestly about 5 to 6 viable weapons that actually hit very hard. So that's why you're going to see many YouTubers have throughout any character they use with a very similar loadout when it comes to the weapons. So some of those weapons are things like the Recursion, the Monarchs, Backburners, Plague Bearers are some of the popular choices, and also, for example, for Zane, the Redistributor is also very good. Sandhawks are okay as well, but there's very limited guns right now, and that's just because, again, the Guardian Takedown is scaled too high. It's actually rumored that the Guardian Takedown is scaled for 16 players. So I don't know who in Gearbox messed up that formula, but it actually would make sense, because I don't know, the enemies are just extra tanky for whatever reason. I'm okay with the content being hard, but when it comes to this, it's like, you can't use any of the viable weapons. So that's going to get me to my other point about this takedown, is that Gearbox did a good thing by buffing some of the weapons, such as the Ripper, the Vanquisher, and there's also a couple of other weapons. But the problem with that is that the weapons themselves are still not even viable for this takedown. You have to use some extra strong weapons to deal with this, and it's very unfortunate, because it's like, oh, I want to use the bitch now, it's buffed, it might be good. But no, again, you're kind of stuck to the same 5-6 guns that I mentioned, which is kind of unfortunate, which is why I'm a bit underwhelmed when it came to that. Now, lastly, when it comes to the build, guys, again, you're going to want to be spamming ASC a lot. So I know that a lot of people, and even myself, I don't like to go in and out of Iron Bear very often, but it actually does help, because you activate your Iron Bear at the same time, plus your ASC, and you get Iron Bear quite fast. Like you guys see him already on cooldown, really, by just doing splash damage. And of course, the Recursion, the Recursion exactly ×2 is just really helping me deal with the mobs. So all I like to do is keep spamming back and forth between my Iron Bear, get my ASC, Auto Bear is active, he's distracting enemies, I go ahead and kill them and do my business. So Moze is really good, because many of the weapons are rocket launchers and stuff like that, and Moze is a queen when it comes to splash damage. So since rocket launchers are very prevalent in this takedown with the Backburners, Plague Bearers, and all that kind of stuff, Moze can really shine. And the fact that she has automatic ammo regeneration means you don't have to spam a cut purse, makes it really easy to just, not have to worry about slamming down or anything like that. You can just focus on shooting the enemies. One of the downfalls is, again, the movement speed can get a little tricky, especially when the enemies charge at you. That can get annoying. But other than that, guys, the build is pretty solid when it comes to Unholy Moze build. I love this build a lot. It's the first time I got through the takedown. That's why you're watching. I'm a little clunky. I went down several times. I got myself back up. It was my first completion with Moze, of course. So don't worry, man. I don't care, man. It's not always going to be a pretty takedown. Sometimes it's going to get a little ugly, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. We make mistakes. It is what it is. But nonetheless, we got the job done. If we had probably a corrosive backburner, we would have probably took out the boss a lot quicker. With a shock backburner, that would have been a little faster. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So with that out the way, my final thoughts on the Guardian Takedown, I'm going to give it to you right here, right now. So the Guardian Takedown, first off, I'm happy that it was actually hard. My biggest concern was that it was going to be very easy because a lot of the characters have been built great. Zane got his scene dead. People were figuring out loopholes. I mean, people knew how to insanely go crazy with Amaras. Moze started to get better, and also there's some amazing flak builds out there. Unlike when the Maliwan Takedown got released, it was released alongside Mayhem 4 at the same time, so we didn't have any practice at all in Mayhem 4, so it kind of took us by surprise at first, and I think it took us actually a little longer to master. Now, when it comes to this one, now that I was thinking that a lot of people have good builds, we all have our Mayhem 10 gear, we are accustomed to Mayhem 10, I figured that this was actually going to be easy, and I was worried about that, but it is not at all, guys. This thing is extremely hard. And I think actually in a few days, and I don't think we will actually have to wait a full week, that they are going to actually scale the enemies back to what they're supposed to be this whole time. Because honestly, guys, it's not normal that, you know, a lot of the other weapons are literally like marshmallows and just bouncing off the enemies and not doing anything. All the enemies are sponges. It's not normal. It's not at all. I don't think that actually makes the takedown harder. I think it actually just makes it more annoying because you can deal with the ads, although limited to guns, but the penalty for falling off the platforms is not fair. I do not agree with that. I don't mind if platforming is in the game, but there at least has to be a checkpoint or just respawn close by and then you have to do the platforming again. I mean, the enemies alone, even if they wanted to keep the enemies the health they are, after you kill all these tanky enemies and then you're at the easiest part where you just got to jump on a couple platforms and then you fall off and then you have to restart all the way back to the beginning, do the crystals, is just detrimental. I had a lot of rage. On stream, I was cursing a lot. I was really missing. It's just unbelievable because this takedown is honestly quite stressful. You don't want to mess up. If you die, it's detrimental. You got to go all the way back. Like if I died at this point here where I'm at by the boss, I would literally have to go all the way back to the beginning where I finished the mid boss, which is like, oh my god, this is like ridiculous. And you have to kill and do the crystals again. It's so punishing. It's not even, it gets to a point where it's not fun. You know what I mean? So that's why I recommend you guys at least take advantage of some of the skips, because there gets to a point where the ads are completely unnecessary. Like you're just killing shit to kill shit. You know what I mean? Like just skip them if you can. That's why I recommend bringing like a snowdrift and sliding and trying to get to those platforms after you complete the mid boss. If you can skip. That's my thing, because the ads are completely like, they're obsolete. It's just an obstacle that just doesn't need to be in the game. There's too many ads, especially if we play with like 2-3 players. Forget it, man. You're just gonna be killing ads all day. And then at the end of the day, you want to get to the final boss as fast as possible, so the ads are just like in your way. So just, in my opinion, I'm okay with skips. At first I wasn't okay with them, but I was just like, why am I killing all these ads over and over? And if I fall off the map, Gearbox doesn't give a fuck about me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and skip some of this shit if I can. So that's what I did in some of these runs. What I did was, when there was the part where you have to jump down that tube before you get to the mid boss, I just skipped that. I slid into that slide jump into that tube so I can go ahead and fight the mid boss, so I didn't have to kill all those Valkyries again, because I already did. I already killed all these Valkyries. I already killed all the creatures. It's like, if you fall off the map, you have to kill them again. It's like, why even bother? Like, I already killed them. I've proven myself. My builds can take them. No big deal. I'm skipping this. Screw this. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. Now, the boss I found was actually quite easy. He wasn't very complicated. I thought he would be way more agile. All he does is kind of like walk like a Tyrannosaurus, big heavy steps, whatever, not a big deal. Hit him with a back burner. Very easy stuff. You guys see the amount of damage we're doing, and we're not even using the elemental matching. Elemental matching is probably the most important thing in this takedown because of how tanky the enemies. Even if radiation is actually good against the blue bar, the shock is just way better, and you notice a big difference. So elemental match as much as you guys can. That's my biggest recommendation to you. But other than that, man, I'm super happy that we completed this takedown, man. It took, oh my god, hours upon hours. 2 streams later, my stream was roasting me. They were saying that instead of calling me Scare Soldier, I should start calling myself Fall Off the Map. Yeah, I know. I kind of earned that title. I got embarrassed. I think I fell off the map on that stream 8 times. I hit the platform. I ran too far. I didn't make it. Oh my god. Countless times, guys. So I know the frustration in the community. I can relate with you guys. It's tough out there. This takedown is no joke. It's very punishing. But again, in a couple days, it's going to... If you guys can beat this takedown now, in maybe 2-3 days, this thing is going to feel a lot easier because the enemies are going to be weaker, the mobs are going to be weaker, so it's going to be better. So like I said, if you complete this shit now, man, you guys are goons. But anyways, guys, we're probably going to do our next couple runs with Zane. Zane is straightforward. All the characters are pretty much straightforward. You have the same 6 weapons on them, and you're going to use most of your pets or toys that Zane has to distract the enemies. So Zane, same concept. You're going to use the clone to distract the enemies, and you're going to shoot them, so that helps you during the crystal phase. With Flak, I recommend Gamma builds. That's going to be good with a Red Fang, so all the aggro is on your pet, so you can clear the crystal out quicker. And when it comes to Amara, she's just a tank. She literally just ricochets everything. So that's pretty much Amara right there for you. And then Moze, she has Iron Bear. So Auto Bear is going to be her best friend in that scenario to distract enemies, taking them away from the crystal, and also giving you a bit of survivability at the same time if you're in a sticky situation. Now, you see here, guys, I was stressed out like crazy in this part. I was spamming. I'm like, oh my god, I cannot die here. Hell no, man. I made it too far, and I do not want to restart. So I was fighting for my life here, man. This was a freaking challenge, man. Like, this takedown is the real deal. If you guys beat it before they actually debuff the enemies, congratulations, because this took me a lot more work than I thought it would. But it's finally done. So go ahead, try this build out for yourselves, guys. I will not guarantee you, though, that it's going to be easy. You guys are going to have to learn some of the mechanics. You guys are going to also have to learn some of the best strategies to dealing with certain areas of the takedown. I had quite a bit of practice myself, so I kind of knew what worked better than didn't. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're still going to get destroyed in this takedown, even with this build, even with any other build on YouTube right now. You have to know what you're doing, which is the most important thing. Now, I'm pretty much done talking, guys. Now, if you guys have any questions in the comment section down below, leave it there. I will get to each and every one of you. I'll be posting more videos about the takedown, and also I'll be doing possibly some more weapon reviews and things of that nature. I need a little break, man. This takedown has taken a lot of energy out of me, and I'm sure it has from you guys. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys are going to see we are going to kill Scourge the Invincible. I'm so happy we finally did it. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. This freaking takedown, man, guys, I tell you. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the couple last seconds of the video as you guys can just bask in my glory for finally completing it. I'll see you in the next video. It's your boy Scare Soldier signing out. Peace.
Get over here, dickweeds!
You avenged the population of Minos Prime. Assuming they are dead, of course. Based on my scans, it's as though they disappeared off the face of the galaxy entirely. Another exciting day in science.